Hello again, just recording part 2 of this video, just exploring the new resources that will be made available to you. This video in particular explores the assessment graphs that many of your children will now have access to on Google Classroom. But just to explain that these graphs will only be given to children in year 1 up to year 5. Children in reception and children in year 6 do slightly different tests, so therefore we're not able to extrapolate this information that I'm about to share with you as much. And there are some children in year 1 and year 5, up to year 5 I should say, who have additional provision, for example, morning maths clubs and things like that. So in some cases, some children don't have those graphs because there is extra provision in place. But for the majority of the pupils that we have for year 1 to year 5, this does apply. So these graphs that hopefully you recall from last year when teachers would have gone through this with you during Parents' Evening are accessible through the children's homework pages on Google Classroom. So you just go and log into Google Classroom as per usual and click into your homework room, which will take you here. This is 3DA's example homework room. Looks like this, and you'll see, I'm sure hopefully you're using the homework rooms very, very well, but there are links to our website, our YouTube channel, our Spotify with our podcasts, Knowledge Organizer, lots of different things that the children have access to. However, there is a new sort of icon here that looks like a sort of graph moving, and once clicked, will take you to your child's assessment room. There are lots of names that you can see around in the assessment room, very similar to the reading room. But for example, if I was Alex B in 3DA, I can only access the graphs for myself. If, for example, I was to click on another person, you just don't unfortunately have access to those graphs. So you're only able to access the graphs that when you log in for your actual login. Once you click the link, you'll have access to your reading results from the autumn term and also your maths results in the way that's sort of shown on the screen, where it breaks it down into the different areas that are tested during that time. So the reading test, the areas that are tested, you can see around the outsides of this graph. So exploring defining skills, retrieval skills, summarizing, etc., as we move around the graph. But also the little number in the brackets indicates how many marks was given for that particular skill or that particular area. So for example, retrieval, it was 12 and prediction was 1. Now, there are 3 elements to look at. The national average is related to the blue lines that you can see on the graphs. That basically indicates the average child in that particular year group. This is how they would have scored on that test. Now, the closer the lines are to the middle, the closer to 0, the further out they are, the better they basically show. So this person here, if you go all the way up to define it where this grey mark is, they basically scored 5 out of 5. However, just going back, so the national average is indicated by the blue lines. The orange lines indicate St. Gregory's year group average. So you can basically see, because the orange lines are further out, that means the St. Gregory's children on average for that year group are performing better than national. However, where these are particularly useful is for individuals. So the individual would normally be the grey line. I've just blanked out this pupil's name, but it basically highlights the teachers and yourselves that, areas that they're really doing really well at in class and areas that we would like to continue to work on as we're already doing so and prioritizing in the spring and the summer term. So defining this pupil, doing a really good job in relation to that. Retrieval, because it's out of 12 and it's less than national average, that's then naturally an area that the teacher will be working with that pupil on as soon as possible, as we move through in the spring term. Summarizing shows really good skills here. And just to talk about prediction, though it is less than national and the year group average, because it is out of 1 mark, the teachers would therefore be prioritizing retrieval first, because prediction is only out of 1. There may not be a necessary need to address that immediately. The same is given for maths, but are just under different headings where they are number, calculations, and total. So you'll be able to access all of that information once you click through in the assessment room. Now, your child will be bringing home an arithmetic video revision tick sheet, which looks like this. So you're able to access on the online version, which I'd highly recommend that you access if you just click on the St. Gregory's badge, but it looks like this. So essentially what we've asked the children to do is, where they would have got a question incorrect on one of their maths tests, they will tick the number that they got incorrect, however numbers it may possibly be. And to the right of that, there is a hyperlink that will take you directly to the video that we would suggest that you might want to show your child at home or talk through it with them to really help them to understand why they may have got a particular question wrong and to help them for the future. Like I said, though, we're already exploring these things that we've already come into the spring term. The reason we've left this here is because, as you may have noticed on the website, there are quite a lot of videos to sift through, so we just thought this might be an easy process. But essentially, once you click one of the links, it will take you directly to where the website actually is, and there's no need to log in. You just scroll down and you press play, and you just work your way and just be listening to parts of the video, which, like I mentioned before, explores how we look at maths in school as well. So that's it. Just showing you the resources that you will have be made available to you this week. Hopefully you find them very, very useful. But as I mentioned, your child's teachers are already working on these things with your child already. That just leaves me to say thank you very much for listening. Hope you found, like I said, all of this useful. Hope you are able to take care and stay safe during these times. And I will see you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.